There are some people that can't focus on one thing for more than 5 seconds, and they are among us. In today's video, we are deciphering Chapter 6 in The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, and it's called Attention, and how you can use attention to actually speed up your manifestations. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus. That is, when it is obsessed with a single idea or sensation, it is steadied and powerfully focused only by such an adjustment of the mind as permits you to see only one thing. For you steady the attention and increase its power by confining it. The desire which realizes itself is always a desire upon which attention is exclusively concentrated. For an idea is endowed with power only in proportion to the degree of attention fixed on it. Concentrated observation is the attentive attitude directed from some specific end. So whatever you put attention on, you're actually giving your power to. When you give your power to something, it grows. When it grows, it manifests. So what you should do is you gotta have a solicit attention to one idea at a time. But in this day and age, we are bombarded with a lot of instant gratification, maybe short form content, maybe like Instagram reels and whatnot. You are not actually focusing on one thing for more than 10 seconds at most. So you gotta take back control of your attention. And actually, when you do that, you will start to realize that you are visualizing better and you can sit more in meditation because you are not like anxious about the notifications on your phone or anything like that. The attentive attitude involves selection. For when you pay attention, it signifies that you have decided to focus your attention on one object or state rather than on another. Therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. So you focus on one thing until it becomes your state of being. You are now in the state of the wish fulfilled. You are focusing on that one thing. So you are becoming that person. You are becoming that thing that you want. You're becoming the best version of you. You're imagining it feelingly. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. So when you focus on the new programming of your subconscious mind, you focus on what you want to be and feel it as if it's already true. You're actually like reprogramming your mind. You are throwing away the bad habits, the old state of being, and you are actually creating a new state of being. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. All progress depends on an increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. The idea which excludes all others from the field of attention discharges in action. So when you focus on only one thing, and one thing only, giving it all your power, you're actually creating it by giving all your power to it and living in it as if it's already happening. By doing that, you are actually embodying that state. You are shifting in the multiverse to a reality that matches that state of being. This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press toward the mark. This means this one thing you can do, forgetting those things are behind. You can press towards the mark of filling your mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To the unenlightened man, this will seem to be all fantasy. Yet all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view, nor accept the world as it is. As was stated heretofore, if you can imagine what you please, and if the forms of your thoughts are as vivid as the forms of nature, you are by virtue of the power of your imagination master of your fate. Neville here is talking about the idea that when you are imagining something and you are in it, thinking from it, not of it. Thinking of a thing is just like when you imagine an apple. But thinking from it is when you are actually holding it in your imagination. You are smelling it, you are tasting it, you are actually involving all your senses in your imagination. And when you actually open your eyes, you will shock time sense. You will just be like, wow, that didn't happen. It was all in my imagination. Because imagination is what creates your reality. So when you actually indulge and be in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are actually creating your reality. You are actually becoming more aware of your state of being. And let me tell you something. Once you become so good at visualization or being in the state of the wish fulfilled, you will manifest out of thin air, just like that. Your imagination is you yourself, and the world, as your imagination sees it, is the real world. When you set out to master the movements of attention, which must be done if you would successfully alter the cause of observed events, it is then you realize how little control you exercise over your imagination and how much it is dominated by sensory impressions and by a drifting on the tides of idle moods. So you must take control of your feeling states, of your attention. Don't give attention away to things that don't matter. Only focus on what you want, not what you don't want, and start to solicit your attention to only the desired state. To aid in mastering the control of your attention, please practice this exercise. Night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention on the activities of the day in reverse order. Focus your attention on the last thing you did, that is, getting into bed, and then move it backward in time over the events until you reach the first event of the day, getting out of bed. This is no easy exercise, but just as specific exercises greatly help in developing specific muscles, this will greatly help in developing the muscle of your attention. As we spoke before about the muscle of the mind, you are actually here exercising the muscle of the mind. You are here training the muscle of the mind. You are soliciting your attention, sharpening your attention to the point that you will not be distracted by any outer circumstances. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. If you persist night after night, sooner or later, you will awaken in yourself a center of power and become conscious of your greater self, the real you. Attention is developed by repeated exercise or habit. Through habit, an action becomes easier, and so, in course of time, gives rise to a facility or faculty. So when you actually day after day soliciting your attention and exercise the muscle of the mind, you are making it easier for yourself to imagine and to create your reality, which can then be put to higher uses. When you attain control of the internal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but will launch out into the deep of life. You will walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled, as on a foundation more solid than earth. You will be actually involved and indulged into the state of the wish fulfilled to the point that you won't care about what is happening in the 3D hologram. You'll be so fulfilled to the point that you know the end. It's like getting into a movie and you are watching that movie, but you know the end. So whatever happens to the hero of the movie, you know that he will win eventually. In the end, he's winning. So why bother? This is what Neville is talking about here. When you actually concentrate on what you want. Do this exercise that Neville talked about, revising your day in reverse order. Like the last thing you did, you actually are in your bed. So you revise that first and go in reverse until you actually wake up. By doing that, you are actually focusing more on your day-to-day life and activities. You will start to become more aware of what you're doing. Some of you guys, and including me sometimes, I feel like we are walking zombies. We don't focus on what we are doing. We are not present in the moment Being present in the moment is actually soliciting your attention to the present moment. And the present moment is all we got. Everything is here and now. So focus your attention on your activities and always be aware of what's happening. Don't be just living life and just let it happen to you. No, take control of your own attention and your own thoughts. Be intertwined with your own attention. Don't be segregated from it. No, focus on every single thing in your life. Be in the present moment. Be present, because that will increase your attention. And when you increase your attention, it will be easier for you to visualize, to be in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, because you can focus on one thing for so long. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the channel, like to reach more people. Tell me down below in the comments, what do you think? And I will see you soon.